Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's podcast episode. And today I'm going to be talking about some fun summer hacks to have on hand to make sure that you are prepared and you've got some plans to truly enjoy this season. Because for those of you who don't know, I live in the Midwest where it is cold majority of the time. So in the summertime, we are out and about living our best lives. So a lot of this is going to be reflective of that, but I still think you can have some great ideas and spark some great things to have on hand or in mind so you are enjoying this season too, whether you have the kids at home with you or you're navigating different activities or you're truly just wanting to settle in this season. This is something that I have found so beneficial in life, in business, with fitness goals, health goals, is taking it season by season, because month over month, things can become like a little tornado can happen and it feels like it catapults you into being off track or not having the best outcome for what it is that you're wanting to have. And I'll get to what I mean about that, but taking it season over season and being intentional about like, what is it that I want to do? Like, what do I want to feel in this season? And while this isn't going to get that deep, it's something that I want you to keep in mind, because for me, when I think of like, okay, what is the reality of this summer? I want you to think of that. What season of life are you in? What's on your plate? What are the ages of your kids? What are the activities that they have? What are the goals that you have for yourself? And really keeping all of that in mind, because you can go back to former episodes from May, like go scroll way back, and I have episodes similar to this one in the different seasons of my life. I've had this podcast going since I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, you guys. That's a lot. Now, what I would give in that episode, so advice when my kids were 3 and 1, is very different than at the time of this recording when my kids are almost 7 and 8.5. So keep all of that in mind. Is number one, I am going to be keeping in mind what season I'm in, not just of weather, but what season am I in life? What season am I in with my kids, with where they're at in their stages of life, and just keeping that in mind with everything that I'm about to talk about. So the first thing is a hack, which is a car kit. Now, you can get a bog bag, you could get anything that will just contain certain items that are going to be handy to have while you're on the go this summer. I'm going to list off an array of things. Some of these things you may need, some of these things you may not need, but a lot of what I include in mine are things that I'm just like, oh man, I wish I had an extra of this, because my kids are at the ages where I don't necessarily need a diaper bag. But here's the thing, even when I needed a diaper bag, I still had a car kit of extra clothes, extra wipes, extra diapers, Ziploc bags where I could put soiled things into. I always had extra shoes, extra socks. I always had a car kit that had extra handy things to have, extra pajamas. Like, it just really depended on what season of life my kids were in. So what I will be including in this now is extra clothes. And oftentimes I try to pick an outfit that will fit either of my kids, because my boys they're not the same size, but they're similar in size, where either the shirt is going to be a little bit too big or a little bit too small, but it's going to work for either of them. I'll include extra socks. Oftentimes I've got some of the extra swimsuits. I've got extra sunscreen in there. I've got an extra towels, because it's always handy to have towels. And swear, you guys, one of the best things that I put in my car kit last year was a first aid kit, a small first aid kit that I got off of Amazon. I cannot tell you how many times I used that for my kids or my friends' kids when we were at a baseball game and one of their toddling toddlers fell down on the gravel and got rock scuffs in their knees, and a Band-Aid just made it feel all better. I love having a little first aid kit that I got off Amazon in my car kit. Now, you can obviously always include extra snacks, extra water bottles. A extra empty water bottle is really nice to have, just because then if I'm around somewhere I can fill it up, or if I can grab a bottle of water out of a vending machine, I can dump it in the water bottle so it stays a little bit cooler for a little bit longer. But having some sort of car kit. I'll circle back to what I was I'll circle into what I was going to say next. Is once a week I clean up my car. Oftentimes this happens either on Friday before the weekend, because in the weekend that's kind of when, or Sunday night. Sunday night is probably my favorite to do just a quick car cleanup. Now, this is not a car detailing. I truly think like if we are expecting ourselves to do something like that from start to finish, it's just not going to get done and things going to get overcrowded. This is like a car tidy. So I go out to the garage. I've got a garbage bag in one hand and I've got a basket in the other. So things that need to go into the house go into the basket, things that need to go into the garbage go into the garbage bag, and it makes it really easy peasy. This is also when I kind of think about, okay, what do we have going on for the week and what do I need to make sure is in the car? Oftentimes with my son's baseball stuff, it doesn't come out of the car. Like it doesn't come out of the car. If he takes his baseball glove out to like play catch with my husband or with me or with a friend, I'm telling him like, put the baseball glove back in the car. And I'm trying to make sure like it just stays in that cohesive place so then it doesn't get put on a shelf or it doesn't. And we're wondering where'd the baseball glove get put? So once a week car pickup. If I have extra ambition, time, and energy, then yeah, maybe I'll take a microfiber cloth and just wipe seats down, wipe all the things down, do a quick vacuum. But I'm really making sure I'm doing a car tidy once a week and then kind of restocking and replenishing our car kit as well. I mean, some of the things in the car kit is also snacks, various things like that. I don't expect myself to always have everything in the car kit, but just having a few things on hand. That bag stays in the car. Maybe I take it out the one when I'm tidying up my car to replenishing it, but then I just put it back in there and I put the things that we need for that week into the car. The third thing that is really, really helpful is even in the mornings of the summer, sitting down with my kids and having breakfast with them and giving them a morning rundown of the day helps so much. While my kids will still be going to like a day camp type of situation some of the days in the summertime, I'm talking them through how the day is going to go and what's on the docket. So it is really simple and really informal, just because I think if I'm more straightforward, the kids remember. So I'll say, okay, today, this is what we're doing for the daytime. This is what we have going on for activities for the evening. And then when dad gets home, we're going to do this. And that way they're just kind of expecting what the day is going to be like on a day-to-day rigmarole, because some days it's golf, some days it's soccer, some days it's swimming lessons, some days it's not, and that way it's really helpful. And I give them that rundown in the morning. I also do have a weekly calendar like laid out that's on the wall right by it's not our front door because it's the door we walk through to get in and out of the house from the garage, but it's something that the kids see when they're putting their shoes on and they're like, oh, on Friday we have this, or on Saturday we have that. Today is this day. Both of my kids can read now, so they can really kind of see that. But it's just nice to sit down with them at breakfast and be like, okay, here's the day, XYZ, explain it in as simple terms as I can, but then at least they know what to expect. And then oftentimes that's when they're like, can I bring my scooter? Can I bring my bike? Can I do this? And I'm like, okay, then I know when we're getting out the door, they're going to want XYZ, and that kind of helps me prepare for those type of situations. So having a little morning rundown with the kids is super, super helpful. The next thing is make a list of summer fun to-dos. I used to call this the summer bucket list, but what I really love to do is think about things, and we've always just kept it simple. Like, we haven't gone on big vacations. That's something I would like to start doing, but we often just make really simple summer bucket lists where it's like going pontooning with friends, going and getting ice cream together as a family, going to the beach, going to this or that and the other thing, going to one of the concerts, playing pickleball together. We keep our bucket list pretty local and pretty simple, but it is, and a lot of these things are going to be things that we're going to be doing even if we don't write it down. But it is just fun to make a list of things, and then if you can put it somewhere, like cross it off together as a family, or on those summer days where you're like, oh, okay, what are we going to do today? Oh, family bike ride. Maybe we could do that this evening, and keeping it really, really, really simple. The last thing that I wanted to share with you about summer hacks and something that just makes summer exciting is goal setting with your kids. Now, I think this is really fun to make goals with your kids that are based off of age appropriate things. So, and off of their interests. So if your child is really into a certain sport, maybe it's making 100 baskets in the basketball hoop while mom and dad are counting. So that gets you guys outside and gets your child really excited to shoot hoops with you. You're tracking it, and it's goal setting. I remember one year for my son, it was getting across the monkey bars. For one of my sons this year, it's riding a bike without training wheels. Another's tying a shoe. So very age appropriate things. Last year it was laundry for one of my kids, and also talking to your kids about your goals. So my kids have known that I am training for this 10K, and I told them, I have the 10K race, but what I'm going to talk to them about is with my 10K race this spring, it's my baseline time to beat in a 10K race that is this fall. So I'm going to be sharing with them, like, I'm going to be continuing running and working on my running, and I'm working to getting faster at my running. So I beat this time on my next 10K. And I really just think that those goal setting is a great way to help the summer go by. I know some people are setting goals of a certain number of times outside, and I am one where, yes, I got totally wrapped into the personal development, like over analyzing goals or maybe being too intense or excessive about goal setting. But I think having these ones where it's just one goal that it's going to really impact your life in a positive way and all of the others, but also like teaching kids that they can do it. Like, they can do hard things. I remember with the monkey bar situation in previous summers, my son would get so discouraged, and I'm like, I know, like, monkey bars is something that he can do if he continue to stick to it. So he started with these certain monkey bars that were closer to the ground, and then it was like, oh, let's try the ones at the school, which are harder. And just over time, it was really amazing to see how goal setting helped foster a sense of pride. And that's something I'm really learning too. Well, I took goal setting to the extreme, and I was setting goals, and I was honestly setting a lot of goals where I was feeling drained and depleted, and I was setting goals that were actually set by others, or I was going for those goals because other people were going for those goals, or I was going for those goals because they were goals that were they were set by the company I was working for at the time. But having personal goals where you feel this sense of pride is entirely different. It's entirely different. And so I hope this is helpful for you to have some hacks in your pocket to having a really amazing summer, because I think these hacks are really helpful, because something like having a car kit makes it easy to say yes to those moments where we're like, oh, yeah, we're near the beach. I've got suits and towels in the car. Let's go there. Or, oh, yeah, we can go do this or we can go do that because I've got a handful of things with me, or I'm prepared for in certain situations where otherwise it'd be like, oh, no, I have to go home and get this and get that. It's like, no, we can just go and do those things. The kids have pajamas with, or they have extra clothes with, or they have extra snacks with, whatever it is. It's just no matter what, it depends on what age your kids are in, what you're going to have in your car kit. But it is just one of those things that I think makes my life so much easier as a mom. Even something as simple as like getting out the door faster. You can get out the door so much faster if you just know you've got a lot of essentials in that car kit. If you're cleaning out your car once a week and you're kind of using your car as like the hub, at least that's how it works for our family. Is my car is like the family car. So if we're taking the family car, and even if we end up taking my husband's truck, all I have to do is take that car kit bag with us and take it out of his car or my car and put it in his truck, right? It makes it easier that way too. Cleaning out my car, that definitely is super helpful because we're on the go, we're driving to places, we're going to activities and various things like that. And having a little summer bucket list with some really amazing epic moments to have those connected moments as a family, whether that be bike rides, ice cream date. I know in the community that I live in, it's very, very, very much like a Hallmark town where there are certain activities for families on certain weekends that are completely free. And it's like, why not take advantage of those activities as well? And goal setting, having something where you're working towards that will bring this sense of accomplishment and pride, and it's concrete. Like, you weren't riding your bike without training wheels at the beginning of the summer, but look at you at the end of the summer. You didn't know how to rollerblade at the beginning of the summer. Look at you at the end of the summer. I'm going to be learning golf. My oldest is going to be getting into golf and all other types of new activities for him too. And so I think it's really cool to foster that forward-thinking mentality in kids and having them focus on something that obviously is age appropriate, something where it's like they are going to accomplish this and see that sense of pride, and then just enjoy each other and the time that you have together, making these special moments. I actually do not like that quote of like, you only get 18 summers with your kids, because I really just think like, let's not think of it like a countdown and just be intentional with the time that we have, while also being realistic of like, a lot of us are working parents and a lot of us have other things that we're doing. But I think it was in one of the books I was listening to written by a pediatrician that even a 15 to 20 minute intentional focus one-on-one time with your kids is really sufficient for filling their cup. So do the simple things like shooting hoops at the local park, or going to the park, or sitting down and having an ice cream, even though if your kids get all melty, just taking really mundane moments and making them magical. Because while I see a lot of people doing these big vacations, and it is something that I want us to start doing as a family, I'm not gonna sit and sulk. I want to make magical memories even close to home and spend time together even in micro moments. So hope this was helpful. If you got anything from it, let me know what your favorite tip was. You can follow me over on Instagram, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.